The last 7 were pretty hard to keep up with. He'd been so good, and this it's a tough game. It's a good lineup he was facing, and worked into some deeper counts, a little bit more of what we saw last year. Trying to make those really fine pitches, which he was able to make here recently, and today, the ball kind of taken off on him a little bit, but got into some tough counts, and then had to hit more of the plate, and it's pretty standard.
Mike, what is your level of concern for Yadier? Can you kind of take us through how those pitches played out?
Yeah, I haven't heard from the medical team yet to know exactly what's going on there, but the first one obviously gave us some concern. Went out and saw him. Medical team was okay, and he ready to go. He just needed a second, and unfortunately the second one got him a little bit better, and at that point it was not going to be a conversation. We needed to get him out.
Mike, you were pretty quick to get him out. Did you see how he reacted to it?
Yeah, just how he reacted, and I could tell when he took a knee, and that particular point, it's just time to get him out.
Did you almost take him out after the first one?
I needed to see what he looked like, how he felt, and he said he's fine. Just needed a second. We've done that. We've been through that conversation many times, and he was fine. And trainer kind of put him through a couple things, and everything was okay. So
They ran the same place exactly.
I don't know.
Did that ever happen to you? 2 pitches in a row?
Possibly. I don't remember.
Has he taken the usually high amount of fair balls off the face mask this year, or is this just the regular wear and tear? I know it seemed like at one point he was turning his head a little bit as he caught to try to.
Yeah, I had a lot of people that were asking me about him turning his head, and he was actually trying to get out of the way of backswings. He got clipped a couple times by a bat, and so he was catching and then trying to get out of the way. He wasn't flinching. It looked like a flinch, but he was trying to get away because so many – he sits tight, which we teach our catchers to sit tight behind the hitter. And some of these guys have some very long backswings that were getting him in the head. And so he was just being smart and trying to keep his head from getting hit with a bat. And but it wasn't a flinch. But, I'd say it's the normal amount. I don't have that data in front of me to make that statement, but it hasn't seemed abnormal.
Does that second shot make him physically sick while he was up there?
Yeah, he just kind of didn't have his balance, and didn't feel good.
As a former catcher, do you flinch every time you see a catcher?
Every time, yeah, I hate it. But it also it doesn't normally hurt. I mean, it just doesn't, and that's it hurts in a lot of other places that you get hit on a foul ball. But sometimes they just catch you right, and then they just knock you back a little bit.
So in terms of protocol, there's the questions that get asked, there's the baseline testing from the different strengths. What can you share about what actually happens in protocol now?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it. We have doctors that are specialists in this area, and they have training, and they know what to look for. There is a baseline test, which has been new to the game over the last several years, to where we have a very good feel of whether or not a guy is right or not. And so he'll go through all the battery of tests and then make sure that he measures up to his former baseline, and we'll go from there.
Is that continued again tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we are right now.
Back to what you were saying, as you see him kind of navigate through the third and then a little bit, you have your bullpen up. What goes into the decision to stick with Lou, or how close are you?
Yeah, I can't just keep beating up my pen. If we have a chance to get him to continue, and gave up the solo in the second, but besides that, looked sharper. And then things just kind of, added on from there. And ideally, we talk about this all the time. We start with our starting staff, and our guys have been so good. Luke has been so good, and every single one of them has done a tremendous job of keeping us in the game. And as many relievers as we have, we still can't fire through 5 and 6 of them every single night. And as much as we want to have an urgency to try and get back in the game, we also had the advantage of waiting a little bit until we had to take advantage of the at-bat. And so just needed other guys to be able to step up.
Did you see from Lester today he didn't offer you any opportunity?
No, he didn't. Jed jumped all over one. A couple other small chances, and needed a big hit to get some momentum going. But when you're staring at an 8 spot, that's always one of those things we're just going to have to try and stack on early and start getting some momentum going, and need a couple big hits. And he was good. He seems to throw like that against us, regardless of how his previous starts would go. He seems to have a lot of confidence against us. Threw the ball well, didn't give us a lot to work with.
Mike, what's the message now? 6 to go. Is there anything you can't say about with the sense of urgency and time's getting late?
Yeah, same story. And I have made sure it's very vocal the fact that whoever's telling them anything different, they need to discommunicate, or however you say it, is make sure it's not part of the conversation anymore. And first of all, there's math that proves the fact that we just keep playing the game. And we've got other teams, yes, certain things have to happen. We don't control those. We control what we do. We keep playing. And this team has shown me time and time again the kind of just the toughness and the character they have, and it's going to play out. They just got to keep playing and not be distracted by the noise or you have to do this. You don't. We go out, and the only thing we have to do is play the game the right way, and it's been the message. It's been what's been communicated from day one, and we don't change that now. I do want to make sure that they don't start listening to the noise, and that's all it is at this point. Just go play it, watch how this thing plays out, trust the way that we've gone about it and how we've improved is going to be good enough to get us where we want to go.
You talked about the goal set in spring training to win a division. How disappointing is it knowing that's no longer a team?
Well, it's something that we have to say as we start this thing, and we also have the goal early on of having the very best record in all of baseball, but we still have some other goals that we've set as well, and some of those include playing deep into October and being the last team standing, and that's still right there, and that's one of the goals that we're not going to lose sight of. And the ones that you don't achieve, whether they're individual goals or whether they're collective goals, you realize that you check those off, and we'll continue to chase those in the future. But right now, we've still got goals that we can attain.